Let me ask you something. How many times have you said sorry this week for something that wasn't actually your fault? Oh, sorry for bothering you. Sorry, I just have a question. Sorry, maybe I'm wrong, but sorry for taking your time. And I want you to pause here. Why are you apologizing for existing? There is a difference between accountability and automatic guilt. And some people, maybe even you, have learned to apologize as a survival mechanism. Not because you did something wrong, but because somewhere along the way you were taught that taking up space was inconvenient. Over apologizing is not kindness, okay? It's conditioning. It often starts in childhood. If you grew up in an environment where keeping the peace meant staying small, where expressing emotion caused tension, where being easy made you more lovable, you probably learned this pattern. If I apologize quickly, everything stays calm. So now, as an adult, you apologize before anyone even blames you. You apologize for your tone, for your needs, for your boundaries, for your standards. And here's the problem. When you constantly apologize for things that are not wrong, you subtly communicate something. You communicate, I am unsure my right to be here. And people feel that. Energy doesn't lie. If you speak as if you are always slightly guilty, slightly mistaken, slightly inconvenient, people unconsciously start treating you that way. Not because they are evil, but because you positioned yourself below them. And let's be clear, saying sorry when you hurt someone is maturity. Taking responsibility is strength. Owning your mistakes is power. But apologizing for having an opinion, for setting a boundary, for asking for clarity, for needing respect, that is self-erasure. And self-erasure attracts disrespect. Some people will never say it out loud, but they notice who faults easily. They notice who rushes to fix tension. They notice who takes blame to end discomfort. And if someone is manipulative or insecure themselves, they will absolutely take advantage of that. Not always dramatically, sometimes subtly. They will push a little more, demand a little more, respect you a little less, because you taught them that you will adjust first. And this is why knowing your value is not arrogance. It's structure. We don't have a price. We are not for sale. Okay? Value is not something you shout. It's something you embody. When you know your value, your posture changes. Your tone changes, your no becomes calm instead of defensive. You don't over-explain. You don't over-justify. You don't panic when someone disagrees with you. You stand, okay? And standing calmly is powerful. Let me give you a shift, okay? Instead of saying, sorry, can I ask you something? Say, I have a question. Instead of, sorry, if this sounds stupid, say, help me understand this. Instead of, oh, sorry, I just feel like, say, I feel, okay? Do you see the difference? One version shrinks and other owns space. And here's something deeper. Chronic apologizing often comes from fear of rejection. Okay, you think that if you soften yourself enough, if you make yourself smaller, more agreeable, less confrontational, you will be safer. But safety built on self-minimization is fragile because the more you shrink, the more invisible you feel. And eventually, resentment grows. You start feeling unheard, unseen, underestimated, but you participated in that dynamic. And I say this with love, you teach people how to treat you. Not through threats, not through aggression, through standards. Through what you tolerate, through what you correct, through what you ignore. If someone misinterprets you and you immediately say sorry just to avoid discomfort, you confirm their narrative. But if you calmly say, I don't agree, that's not what I meant, I'm not apologizing for that, you reset the frame. And confidence is often about frame control, not manipulation, clarity. There is also something like energetic about unnecessary apologies. Like every time you say sorry without the reason, you reinforce an internal belief. I must have done something wrong, even when you didn't. And over time, that becomes identity. Like you start second guessing yourself constantly. You ask 5 people before making a decision. You soften every opinion. You doubt your instincts. And then you wonder why others don't fully trust your leadership? Because you don't. Confidence is not loud. Confidence is knowing when you own an apology and when you don't. It's saying sorry when you hurt someone, not when you simply exist. And let's talk about something uncomfortable, okay? Sometimes women are socially conditioned to apologize more, okay? To be agreeable, to be accommodating, to be emotionally responsible for everyone. But emotional responsibility has limits, okay? You are not responsible for how someone feels about your boundaries. You are not responsible for someone being uncomfortable because you spoke clearly. Okay, discomfort is not harm, and clarity is not cruelty. If you didn't lie, manipulate, disrespect, or intentionally hurt someone, pause before you apologize. Okay, and ask yourself, did I actually do something wrong, or am I just afraid of tension? Because tension is not always negative. Sometimes tension is growth. Sometimes tension is you stepping into your value. You don't need to announce your worth. Like you demonstrate it through consistency, through how you respond to disrespect, through how you correct misunderstandings, through how you hold eye contact when you speak. You don't need a price, but you do need standards, okay? And standards require courage. So the next time you feel sorry rising your throat, automatically stop, okay? Breathe, replace it with clarity, replace it with ownership, replace it with silence if needed. Because silence is more powerful than nervous apologies. And here's the truth, the people who respect strength will respect you more, okay? The people who only liked you when you were small may pull away. And that's okay, because you are not here to be digestible. You are here to be aligned. And alignment sometimes disrupts comfort, but it builds respect. So no, don't apologize when you have done nothing wrong, okay? Stand, speak, own your space. You are not for sale. You are not a discount version of yourself, and you are not required to shrink to be accepted. Know your value and let your energy communicate it before your words ever have to. And this was the message of today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And that's it. I see you in the next video. Bye!